What is it like to have a girlfriend for close to or more or exactly a year? And how do you get to that stage? How do you get into a deep relationship? And what are the signs to look for, to avoid, and to try and encourage in a healthy relationship? Now, before anyone ever critiques this video, well, first off, let's get this clear. I don't edit anymore. So if you're critiquing about that, I don't edit anymore, okay? I explained it in a video that I posted on JBdrag 2 called A New Path Forward. I believe it's called something like that. It's called something. So let's just get that out of the way. Now, second thing is second. I was told that I should not be handing out dating advice. I was told something extremely specific, but I will just say one thing right here. I've thought about it and I've changed my mind. I believe it is still appropriate to give dating advice in a video. And I know that all of you, or a lot of you, are on the younger side, but something that I have to remember is that, you all aren't, little tiny children that, are super sensitive to everything. Like children were back then. You guys are already exposed to more things. But put that aside, I am presenting this video in a family-friendly manner, and I believe it is appropriate for the things that I will be saying. First of all, before I dive into this topic, I want to warn you, I do not recommend that you start dating at a younger age. I recommend that you wait till you're older, and my recommendation is wait till you graduate high school. Properly enjoy your high school years. Spend time with your friends without having to worry about finding a relationship. Now, if you are deep in a relationship and you are in high school, and if you're in a relationship, there's going to be a bit of flexing, but I'm using this as an example. As good as my relationship with that person right there, that person's name on the wall, Aya. And if you have a good pattern going on, then yeah, relationships are absolutely worth it by an extreme long shot. But just jumping into a relationship, going through the process of a talking stage and all that stuff and all the setup, and oftentimes you'll have a partner that will break your heart, and lots of kids are younger, lots of kids are immature, and then you also have, unfortunately, you have a bunch of kids confused about what gender that they are attracted to. And I'm not afraid to say this out loud, unfortunately, due to the wokeness that has been going on in this world, there's not been more wokeness than there has been recently. I don't like it. I don't like wokeness. Everything woke turns to crap. So you have that sort of thing. And no, I am not anti-LGBTQ. Get that out of your head, all right? I just don't like the extremeness that some people have, and just certain things. It really just complicates things. And now some occurrences are more for example, someone is just going through a period where they're trying to learn more about themselves. So dating a younger person when you were also the same age as that younger person, perhaps a 13-year-old and a 13-year-old, or a 15-year-old and 15-year-old, no. Saying that already sounds... 15-year-olds should not be dating. I really don't think so. It's just too young. It's just too young. I've actually said before that I think 15-year-olds should date, but honestly, at that young, you're still trying to figure out who you are. At least most people. Well, pretty much everybody. It's just don't stress yourself by trying to get into a relationship. I believe that was gifted to me, so just saying that for recording. I gave it away to this person. You're welcome. No, I'm not mistreating the gift. I'm just giving it to someone who's going to get more use out of it. All right, now let's dive into signs that you need to look for to get into a good relationship. So, there are a few main things that you do need to look for. Now, this is a pretty old school, bold statement, but just over the last year, and I mean, yeah, technically Aya convinced me of it, but I freaking agree, because it makes sense if you put things together. If you are a male dating a female, she should not have any male friends that she's extremely close to. Now, some distant ones that she talks to every now and then, like there's this one girl, I never saw her as a romantic option. I sat behind her in my one class in senior year. I would talk to her every day. I just talked to her a tiny bit. Hugo was actually sitting behind me in that class too. Hugo talked to her as well. Like, something like that, that's all right. But, like, a deep friendship, like, oh, you're going over, like, the male friend's house, and you're a female, and you have a boyfriend, it really is just wrong. If you're in a big group of friends and there are other genders, okay, but make sure not to be too close, like, not really that close at all with the person who is of the other gender. So I'm pretty sure you guys can pretty much get what I'm saying. Like, don't have like a best friendship with a person of the opposite gender if you are in a relationship with another person. It does not work out. Now, I'm not going to dive into all the LGBTQ plus examples. What I mean by that is person dating the same genders, and then what does that mean? It's really complicated to explain, but basically, all I'll say is that whatever gender that you want to go for and you end up dating, right? And, you know, you show that you're attracted, like people just know that you want to date a certain gender, you know, then just don't be friends of someone of that certain gender. And now there are like different examples that get extremely complicated and confusing. So I'm going to stop there, because the video is going to go on too long if I explain every single scenario. I'll just go ahead and get this example out of the way so I can explain it so I don't leave anyone confused. If you're friends with someone who like is the same gender as you, but you also are attracted to that gender, and you've been deep friends for a very long time, and you know you have no attraction for them, like, this, it really, I don't invite them over to your house, only see them in public. Now, if there is a complicated situation and your romantic interest is fine and does not care what you do, and you do not care what they do and stuff like that, then of course you don't have to listen to what I'm saying. But my ideal typical relationship rule is to, well, just follow what I said there. Next, look for a romantic interest that believes in the same religion as you. For example, here's a good example. My parents, they're Christians, but they're two different types of Christians. That's fine. That's like extremely similar. But if you have two completely different religions, in a lot of cases, it does not really work out. Of course, things do work out sometimes. There's also another couple in my family. They're two completely different religions. I mean, they both do believe in God, so maybe that's why that relationship works out. I don't know. Thank goodness they both believe in God, because I believe that's the way. And I'm not afraid of saying that. I'm not afraid of saying that because I truly believe that Jesus is real. It's true. Date someone that you would be comfortable living with. Their habits. Now, for example, Aya, the habits that she has, I actually really love her habits. And her habits, she's actually more clean than me. One thing about me is I really hate if something gets too incredibly dirty. And it triggers me so bad. If things are like dirty in a certain way, but like my brain somehow finds a way to dismiss it, then that's one thing. But the thing about Aya is that she's just like clean, clean, clean all the time. Just clean, clean, clean. And she also has like a personality like save as much energy. Don't leave the lights on. My dad, Madam M Pets, he leaves the lights on his house. So if Aya had the personality traits of Maddo Man, I don't think the relationship would even work out in the long run. Or for example, here is a good example. Hugo and VR. Me and him are very good as friends, but there are certain ways that he acts, certain personality traits that he has that I would never want to like live with someone as a romantic interest that has those exact traits that Hugo has. Does that make sense? Now, for example, if Hugo did live with me in the future, we would have to do a type of situation where, like, we would always promise to keep common areas clean, but his own areas could be whatever. But, like, for example, like, if Aya had the personality traits of Hugo, for example, like, I'm gonna lay in the same bed as Aya in the future. You know, couples usually sleep in the same room, go to sleep every night and fall asleep in the same bed next to each other. So couples, they're more like together, like everything's more together. There are also certain relationships where the couple does not end up sleeping in the same bed because there are personality traits that they just piss each other off, so then they need their own separate rooms. But then again, it's like, well, it is a lot better to be dating someone who like literally coincides and like for it to work out, like the traits work out together. Can you stand being near them for long periods of time? Do you truly want to talk to this person every single day of your life? Or do they annoy you way too quickly? That should be an obvious one. You need to make sure that your partner is someone that you're comfortable being around. You need to make sure, well, at first you may not be comfortable. I sure wasn't comfortable at first around Aya, and neither was her. She was shy out of her mind. But as long as the level of comfort can increase over time, then that's good. Now, in my current relationship right now, and well, I told you guys that I would make a video explaining how the relationship would be like at least 6 months, when I'm 6 months into a relationship. Back then, like when I first said that, which was like right at the beginning of the relationship, I wasn't even entirely sure that something was going to last, because something that like, well, that me and I were going to last. Like the thing is that like in my love life, I was used to experiencing a common pattern. Like whenever I go into talking phases or relationships, whatever, it would always just fail. It would just fail miserably, fail quick. I said miserably twice. And I'm actually, well, I was surprised that I actually, and I still am a tiny bit surprised that I got as lucky, but like Aya, she's a keeper. I highly doubt that I'm ever going to step out of the relationship I am with her, which is a very good thing. The level of comfort I feel with her right now is I could pretty much say like almost anything and be comfortable with after saying that. Now, of course, like certain things you can't say. Like, you can't just like randomly like playfully insult your partner on something that they're actually insecure about. Keep that in mind too. That's another tip. You need to also make sure that when you're in a relationship, put yourself in the other person's shoes a lot too. Do that for life in general, really. How do you come off as? Just put yourself in other people's shoes and then just act how you, like, just treat other people how you would want to be treated. That is, unless you have an unfortunate mindset where your self-confidence is down, then of course, then at that point, then that rule does not apply. The golden rule does not work. There are loopholes in the golden rule. Right? Even when I was younger, I was like, wait a minute, no, there's definitely a loophole to this. Yeah, there's a loophole to the golden rule. Okay, sorry to this person named AK47 and this name. I'm saying this in this video so I can remember a little bit better too. I owe you a snowmobile, all right, since that pink snowmobile did not save. Just saying that so I can remember it. By the way, I am keeping all of like non-stock up season items, non-fun items, like literally items that are in the game all the time, or like just boring items, I guess you could say, like TNT and the bags of sand and just this stuff. This is all going under here. The fun stuff goes on the roof. This stuff goes under here. And like I love how I'm talking about this all, even though I already quit YouTube, but like for whenever I am here, I'll slowly but surely make little bits of progress to get this done. But it'll happen. It'll happen. Sounds bizarre, but it'll happen. Where are you going? When you're in the talking phase of a relationship, it is extremely important to also lay out rules that you want in the relationship. Don't be like, oh, I don't want to lay out some rules. I don't want to be that guy or that girl or whatever. No, lay out rules. They're going to be your partner, and it's your agreement for them to be with you. Don't make them outrageous. For example, one of my rules, and same for my partner, is I don't want them going to any clubs, period. Like, that's it. Like, no clubs at all. I believe that is a rule that I really, really believe that it should be enforced in all relationships. Because, well, now I'm going to bankrupt the clubs. But seriously, though, that is a place where people go to, like, find a new partner. Why would you have your own partner go there? And even if you do go with them, it's just like, or if you go with a couple of your friends and they go with a couple of their friends and you all go as a group, or if they go with their friends, no, it's just not a good look. Any scenario, they're exposed to an environment that has a good chance that someone may walk up to you and try to go into a talking phase with you. Now, if you're at like some type of bar, like a restaurant or something, that's fine. But like a bar at a club, you know, it just depends if it is a club. It depends on the atmosphere, like a dance party or something like that. So that is something that I recommend you all say to a person that you may end up talking to in the future. Something surprising is that my parents actually don't have that standard in their relationship. My dad actually does not care if my mom goes to clubs as long as she wears appropriate clothing, of course. Like if she goes to a club with her friends, my dad does not care. I think he should, but I'm not going to sit here and judge their relationship, of course. I'm just trying to give an example of how, yeah, me and my dad are just in different relationships. We are in different relationship types. My parents' relationship compared to the relationship that I'm in with Aya, it's actually a different dynamic. Whatever dynamic works for you, works for you. If your relationship goes a certain way of certain rules and both you and your partner are happy for it, then who am I to judge? Who is anyone to judge how the relationship goes. Just make sure that it is morally right. Like, for example, I don't think anyone should ever enter a relationship and where a type of relationship where the people constantly insult each other. Like, that is not an ideal type of relationship to step into. What I mean is, like, literally, like, just like as some type of thing of where it's like you just playfully insult each other about everything. Like, I get playful insults, and I do that with Aya, but, like, about, like, every little thing. Or, like, here's another thing that you should not do in relationships. There's actually people in my family that do, but I've said some things that if anyone I know or if any family member I know sees, they will actually get a little upset and may end up confronting me when all I'm really saying is, like, literally common sense stuff. It's like literally their own bad habits. So I'm not afraid to say it. And if you see this video, I do not mean any harm. This is what I truly believe, and I believe if that this is what's right, and I'm going to say it. Never, ever, ever talk to your romantic partner about eating healthier, going on a diet, or anything like that. Like, you can, like, calmly say it, like, in a certain scenario, like you could suggest it lightly, but I really wouldn't. It really depends. Like, I wouldn't just bring it up out of nowhere. And only suggest it to them if they are saying that they know they need to lose weight and they are willing to. Then you could say, well, all right, then, and you could give them a couple of tips and stuff like that, but don't nag them about it, because people's weight, it's an extremely sensitive thing. I also know too, because I have personal experience with that, unfortunately. So I know what people feel when they're insecure about their weight. Believe me. Now, like, not all the feelings, because I'm not like obese. So I would very much believe that those people experience different and more intense emotions of sadness over that. I'm just saying I know, like, a snippet of it. That's all I'm trying to really say. If you want your partner to begin losing weight and they never bring it up, say things that are not direct. Say indirect things. Don't even say it to them. Say it near them. Like, talk about, like, if you see, like, a healthy fitness influencer, you could say, like, that guy is really healthy. He's going to be living a long time with all that health he's doing. You could say something like that. That's it. Even saying something like that is a little harsh too. Once you do get close to your partner, they probably will end up opening up if they do notice themselves about their weight. But, like, if they share, like, every deep secret with you and you never hear that from them, like, I mean, of course there could be some people oblivious to it and they don't care, but most likely people do care. So you have to be extremely, extremely careful. Word it in such a light way that they may not even know what you're talking about at first. It's all about the words that you choose. Whoever does currently constantly, like, or just tell people about their weight or nag them or whatever, don't do it. It's not right. It is not right. That is my statement about that. All right, let's step into another rule that all people should have for relationships, okay? Never date based on height. Never. Never. Never date based on weight. Never, ever date on things that, well, height you can't even change. Actually, you could with surgery, and but like it's expensive. It's out of the way. It's like, no. Don't date based on height. It's like, when it comes to a relationship, it is hardly one of the things that are barely important in a relationship. And there's so many people who are like, women who are like, oh, I only date people of a certain height. Stop doing that. If you're like dating a woman who is saying that, it's like, okay, but like, I personally would not date a woman who is really concerned about height like that. All right? And I wouldn't step into a relationship with a woman who is at first concerned about that. Women who are concerned about how much money you make. As long as, like, if you have a woman, like if you're dating a woman, or I should say, or a guy, that wants you to work and try to make money, that's fine. But who have a ridiculous standard, like there's some of these random women online saying, like, I want my man to make $250,000 a year. I think like less than 5% of people in the United States make that. Probably not correct statistics, but somewhere around there maybe. Like, oh, that's extremely toxic. Here is one thing that you have to say to yourself, though. When you're in a relationship with someone, just say, like, does this feel right? Like, there will be moments in the relationship where you may have doubts and you may overthink about that, but you just have to ask yourself, does this person make me happy? Am I comfortable with them? Do they make me feel that giddy feeling? And sometimes they won't. And if that ever does happen, that means that the spark fades out. What you do is just give some effort to relight the spark. All right? I do want to warn you that when you're in a relationship, sometimes the spark fades away and you just feel a little bit like weird about it. But trust me, if you are still like extremely comfortable with them, extremely happy with them, find them attractive, blah, 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 whatever. And when you are in love, you will pretty much find them attractive, like almost no matter what. The only case is like, if they really like they wake up and like they have drool all over their face, makeup's all over their face or whatever, I don't know, like a disaster like that. You get what I mean? Like the makeup being smeared or something. You get what I'm saying, all right? Cheating. How do many cases of cheating happen? And you should absolutely never do that. It is extremely unacceptable. I really extremely dislike cheating. I'm not going to say hate because Jesus does not want you to hate. But I extremely dislike cheating. All right? Cheating, a lot of cases, cheating will happen because you want to feel the spark again. That's wrong. Do not seek the spark in someone else. Stay loyal to your partner. If you're still comfortable, if you're still happy spending a bunch of time with them, if they're like, if things just feel right with them, stick with them. The spark will fluctuate from time to time. But always remember to never chase that quick new different spark from somebody else. That's cheating. That's wrong. And in the long run, when you do end up sticking with the same person, the love grows deeper and deeper and deeper. It grows, it strengthens to the point of where something that no first spark could ever make you feel. Why would you want to go from a relationship that you're extremely comfortable with the person, extremely have that real deep love, to a relationship that is new, you're kind of nervous with the person, you don't exactly know how they act? Like, it's just easier, more convenient, morally right to stay with the same person. It is morally correct to do that. Now, if there are some things going on, like, for example, you truly believe you are not meant for that person's not meant for you, and you believe that your personalities, they just, like, do not coincide enough, like, you're not that compatible, that's one thing. But if you're extremely compatible and you agree on a lot of things and stuff like that, and you're there for each other, it's like, it's kind of hard to explain this. I'm not sure if you could tell from the way I'm explaining this. But yeah, like, why not just stay with the person? It's better. And another thing, you'll feel proud of yourself for doing the right thing. Jesus will give you a pat on the back. Jesus will be proud of you. And you want Jesus to be proud of you. You really do. Before I actually got into my first real deep relationship, I always assumed that relationships would constantly make me feel a little kind of awkward the entire time. And it would just feel like different, and it's not like that. When you get into a deep relationship, it really just starts to feel normal. Like, you don't feel that feeling anymore, like, oh my goodness, there's this person, and like, oh, I see them online, no, my partner's online, and it's like, oh, I got a girlfriend, and you're constantly thinking that, and you're comparing yourself to other people, oh, I got a girlfriend, you don't, like, when you're in a deep, real relationship, like, you literally, like, when you're doing other things in your life, you don't really feel a need to mention your partner unless you want to say something good about them or something from time to time, or if you're talking about them like I am talking about Aya. You notice that in most of my streams and most of my videos, I don't really mention Aya at all, because she's not in the topic that I'm bringing up. I mean, I'll mention her from time to time if there's a little snippet of where her name could be fit into, but the amount that I'm talking about her this video is probably the most that I've ever talked about her in one recorded video, and will probably forever be the most, because I'm most likely not going to do another video. I just wanted to do this video to just explain to you, what is it like to actually get into the point of where you're in a very deep, secure relationship. Also, another thing, talk about what you guys will do for money. For example, are you going to split the bill on dates? Which that is something I believe you should do. But something else that is also all right acceptable is if your girl wants you to pay for everything, or at least most things, then if she agrees to do most of the housewife role chores, like if she wants you to be the payer for a lot of things, then she's got to spend a bunch of time in the house doing housewife type things. I'm serious. And I'm not, and, well, actually, I will say this. There's certain, like, some woke people will be like, that's toxic masculinity. No, that's not toxic masculinity. That's common sense. It's called a deal. It's called an agreement. It's called men not being taken advantage of. That is what it's called. And as long as your woman or your man is just giving back what you want out of them in exchange for all, like, that you're spending on them, and you both shouldn't be thinking of that whenever you do things, like when you buy stuff for your partner, or your partner buys stuff for, or your partner, like, does certain things for you, certain chores, whatever. Do it out of love. Both of you do it out of love. Don't do it like, oh, I got to hold up my end of the, no. Just do it naturally and do it out of love. It'll be better if you have that set mindset. Let me give you a good example here. Now, me and Aya, if we plan to not have children, and we've talked about it so much. We're probably never going to have children. So I do apologize if anyone is, just a little, slightly, very slightly upset about that news. But yeah, I'm probably never going to have any children. All right. Sorry, amount of my pets. If Aya were to choose the lifestyle of not working a job, then I would expect her to do everything in the house, all the cooking, all the cleaning, all that stuff, and I would pay for stuff, and we would live as a traditional couple without children, back in the 1970s or something. I mean, back then, like, literally a man could, just one person would have a job, and that would be enough for a whole family. Unfortunately, it's not quite that way anymore, unfortunately. And what I mean by unfortunately it's not that way is, unfortunately, you need more than one salary to have a family in most cases. That's what I'm saying is unfortunate. But, like, make sure to even things out. Like, split things up. What I mean by that is, for example, if Aya does work a job, and I actually am encouraging her to, because she's going to college. I'm like, hey, you should get a job. And she also wants well, actually, I'm not going to go into personal financial details, so I'll exclude that. Never mind. But so then in that case, then we would split the household chores, cleaning, cooking, washing, whatever, stuff like that. And we would also, like, I'd pay for a bunch of things, but then I'll make her pay for certain things or whatever. And if you want to be generous, and give more sometimes, there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong if you want to give more than 50% of the effort towards the place that you both live in. That's okay. It's okay. It's okay. As long as you're fine with it. When you're not, you have the right to push yourself back to the 50% mark. Also, here is another thing. Make sure that when you step into a relationship, your partner can handle you venting. That is an extremely important part. I believe that an extremely important part of a relationship is you can freely vent to your partner. You need to vent to get just stuff on your chest off it. If your partner ever starts saying, well, I have it harder than you, that is a red flag right there. It does not matter how difficult your situation is. Everyone is experiencing pain in some form, and the best way to relieve it is to vent, or at least one of the best ways, whatever. No matter how large or small your pain amount is, everybody needs to vent to help relieve that. Like, you really do. If you're forced to stuff down your emotions because your partner keeps telling you, oh, well, I have it harder than you, why do you keep venting to me? Then that'll just make it worse to you, and potentially even as bad as their hardship at that point. Yeah. So always remember to be there for each other, no matter how big or small each individual situation is. You're there to comfort each other, recharge each other, and understand each other. Find a partner that is extremely understanding. There are going to be a lot of fights in a relationship. And another thing is, sometimes things may look extremely bad. Sometimes your partner may do some crazy things, but sometimes you really just need to forgive them, because we are all human and we all make mistakes. If someone cheats in a relationship, I do not believe that you should forgive them. Well, maybe you could forgive them, so it's better on you, but like better on you morally, because people say if you forgive, then it's just better for your soul. But never take the relationship back to its normal level. The relationship's basically ruined at that point. That's my standard. If I ever cheated, she's done. She's gone. Like, that's it. There's no negotiations. Absolutely none. It is a horrible, horrible thing to do. Horrible. Horrible thing. Do not do it. But some situations that you may just have to forgive sometimes is if your partner keeps, like, if it's like a few times and they mess up on the same thing a couple of times, but it's like spread out over a long period of time, that's all right. But as long as you notice them, just like if they acknowledge what they've done wrong and you see change, even if it's a very small amount of change, that's all right. As long as they're improving, they acknowledge it, just forgive. And yeah, you're going to have to swallow your pride a lot in a relationship. You're going to have to do that. Another thing, when you get into arguments and stuff like that, my recommendation is hold your tongue. Hold your tongue and do not say messed up too far things. Do not. Like, absolutely do not. Like, really messed up stuff. Like I should have never dated you or something like that. Like, really deep stuff like that. Never, ever say that. Never. Sometimes when something happens in a relationship, when you're fighting, right, or have an argument, whatever, you will feel mad for a while, but eventually it'll linger off. And even if you have to swallow your pride to do it, swallow your pride. It is your partner that's on the line here. Go talk to them and talk it out. Try to talk it out as soon as possible. I understand that sometimes some people just need a little bit of distance, but try to like talk your partner to sort out like the argument as quickly as possible. It is good to have communication. And don't let the sadness happen overnight if you can help it. Don't let things be unresolved. Or another example is like if you just want to take a break from them, that's another thing. I mean, I've done that. I've done it a couple of times. Like if you really just need some time away from them, you just need some time, some space, some time to yourself because you're just completely wrecked and destroyed from the fight and you just are emotionally exhausted. I understand that. But, you know, of course, just go to your partner and say, I love you. I forgive you, but I just need a little bit of time just to heal. Why am I... Oh, I'm not supposed to stack over here. I accidentally did that. That's my fault. I don't want the... Well, no, all the TNT ain't going to fit over there. So, yeah, I'll keep doing that. I've never, ever expected being in a relationship to feel like how it feels like. It is incredible. It is absolutely worth it. When you are used to being in a relationship, when you got things under control, when you got standards set, and it is hard to get everything set up too sometimes emotionally. But once you get that all set up, it is absolutely worth it. It is absolutely worth it. Being with a partner makes your life so much better. Being with a partner releases chemicals in your brain to make you happy. Oxytocin, I believe it is, or dopamine. I actually forget. Dopamine, I think, is the happy one. Oxytocin is the love hormone. I don't know, but they both get released in your body when you have a relationship and, you know, you're thinking about them and they make you happy or like you cuddle them in real life or something like that. I mean, cuddling, I don't know what an IRA relationship is like just yet, a legit one. That I have yet to figure out, but that'll probably be pretty good too. But I do know the important parts of the relationship and what makes a normal relationship function. And I've discovered that more. And I'm very happy that I got the opportunity to discover that. Because, of course, I'm I don't want to be alone. And I just want more information because I was genuinely curious. And remember, If you don't have a relationship, it's not the end of the world. You're not less superior if you don't have a relationship. Unfortunately, there are a lot of women in today's society, and a lot of men too, that they just don't act good in a relationship. And it can be hard to find a good partner that's not going to cheat on you, that's not going to be stupid and stuff. It is so incredibly difficult to find a relationship. I'm not trying to say that to scare you. I'm just trying to say that to say it as it is, as I usually do. My bold personality trait, as you know it. Goodbye, Red Wolf. Nice to see you. Of course, besides of having a partner to spend time with, and that brings so many great things. Aside from all the magical and great things that having a partner brings, and being able to say I love you to someone every day. And by the way, I recommend you talk to your partner every single day. I highly recommend it. It's a good thing to do. I believe that all relationships, everybody should always talk to each other every day. There's some people, I used to say that was bad and weird, but look at me now. I really know what it's like. It's like you're not simping if you talk to your partner every single day. And by the way, it's not simping if you and that person both simp over each other. If you and that person both technically simp over each other, I have not heard simp in a long time, by the way. It's like a older, more dead internet term. It was more alive back when I was playing this game a lot more a couple of years back. But you're not a simp if that person is also simping over you. It cancels out. And that's technically the actual definition. So I could get away with so much simping, but it's not simping. It's not. It's like, no, I don't simp. JB, do you simp? No, I don't simp at all. I don't simp over anybody. I really don't. It's not happening. They're like, it's never going to happen in any JBdrag Motocross timeline. I will be in love with a partner, but I will not simp. Because it's not considered simping. It cancels out. Oh my goodness. I love that technicality. I can pull that card. And when people joke with me about it, like, nah, it's still simping. It's like, no, it cancels out. It cancels out. But of course, besides, all the special elements that a partner brings that I explained in this video, having a relationship is pretty much the same as not. What do I mean by that? When you're not spending time with your partner, aside from knowing that they exist, when you don't see them, aside from knowing that they exist or maybe missing them once in a while or something, like a lot of times when I end up like getting involved with something aside from my partner, like getting involved with a risk game, I'm not really thinking much of Aya when I'm focusing on risk with a couple of friends on stream. I'm focused on like staying alive. I mean, I'll think of her like a couple random times during the game because I know she exists, and I'll think of her a lot more when I'm doing nothing or when I'm spending time with her, or if I'm playing a game that doesn't involve a lot of thinking, or even just chilling in general. If you're just like talking outside of your partner is not 100% everything in your life. There will be a lot of day-to-day activities you'll do, and you'll feel like a single person too. And that feeling is so cool. Like, you're cool, you're just chilling, you're in your own little world like a flying ferocious fool, but not literally like the flying ferocious fool lore. You're not in Alaska. Every person needs to have a bit of alone time and needs to feel a little bit of independence and feel like themselves in their own little bubble. Everyone needs some personal space, and that personal space is not completely obliterated. It's not. And you can you could just live in the moment, just not thinking of anything and just like chilling out. Back then, I thought it was, you'd at least have some trace of thought of your romantic partner, and it's just slightly tinted, and you're like, I'm chilling, but I'm happy, I'm in love. No, it's not like that. It's more like when you're in those moments, you're just chilling, you just don't give a crap. You feel happy. You feel motivated to do good things. Then, after a short while, then you'll start to think about your partner, then you want to talk to them again, And then it's good that they're there, and it's good that you have a nice, healthy relationship and stuff like that. And it's absolutely beneficial that they are there. Jackson H. Oh, my goodness. I was just thinking of you the other day, buddy. How are you doing? Being extremely obsessed with someone and knowing that they feel the exact same way about you is one of the best feelings in the world. It's probably why having a relationship is literally like... that it literally improves your life. It makes you healthier. I've heard some people even say that it increases your lifespan. I believe that's probably true. It's probably, absolutely probably true. And also, there are people who are like, and including I don't know why you have to think like that. That's one thing I wish you didn't think that way. But most people think this way, or at least a lot. I actually am going against the crowd with this one. And unfortunately she had to think like this, but it's okay. It's what it is. But when I was in the relationship with her, like in the earlier parts of the relationship with her, I just talked like it's past tense. No, I'm still in the relationship with her. Don't worry. No, but back when I was in the earlier months, I would actually like try to plan out future plans, but I did it so early on. And she was like, why are you planning stuff out so early on? Why are you talking about that? And a lot of people like would almost feel kind of awkward about this. And I even felt a little awkward talking about it, but my want for the importance that I believe that this serves completely powered me through that. I'm like, but I don't care anyway. It's still important. Even like early in a relationship, even in the talking phase, I don't give a crap. Even in the talking phase, talk out with the person. Talk out what you think your next few years are going to look like, what you're going to do, where you're going to go, if things will work out, stuff like that. I believe that people in their talking phase or the first month of relationship, they should have that. Because what if you like, for example, you step into a long distance relationship, you're with them for 3 years, then you decide to bring up, okay, so it's getting time for a good time for you to move over here in the same country as me where you can live together. And they're like, oh no, I want you to come here. I thought that's what we assumed. That's what they say. Then you're like, bruh. And then the relationship ends. Get the long-term talks out, some of them out earlier. I think in the talking phase, I asked Aya if she wanted to have kids as well. That's a big, important thing that I want to know. Yes, I know it's soon, but it saves you time. It saves you time. It saves you heartbreak. The earlier... Now, actually, I said the first month of relationship, screw that. All in the talking phase. I don't even care. Get the long-term talks out first. And before you date your partner, make sure that things are going to work out long-term. Make sure everything is going to work out long-term. Or at least a lot of things, whatever. And it's a blueprint. And I call it a blueprint for a reason. Not a blueprint like this, but that's what I think of whenever I use that term. Because I played Lumber Tycoon 2 for so long. But it's like a blueprint. Like, literally, like, see, just, like, place something here. Look, let's watch this. Place it. People are like, why are you talking about that? That's like feature subjects. Like, that's too awkward. Why are you talking about that? You don't have to have that all planned out. Even literally my parents tell me that. But I disagree with that. It is a blueprint. It is very most likely going to be altered, switched, and changed. Maybe it could switch into this type of future. Then it switches into this type of future. But you don't actually lock in to the future until you actually get there and things actually start happening and things actually start falling into place when the moment is. Boom. Then your future's like that. But like even my own parents, they're like telling me like, you don't need to like plan this all out. And it's like, no, it's a blueprint. It can very most likely change. And as we see here, this blueprint changed. It changed position. Now it's on the floor rather than standing up tall and skinny. Changed. But it doesn't matter if I talk about the blueprint being other directions, things being different ways. It can always change, but I always like to know what could be a likely possible future so that I can prepare for it and I can prepare my mindset for it. And if something changes, something alters, I simply just change my mindset, change what I'm getting prepared for. It does not matter until it happens. I'm all for, get some future talks out of the way and make sure you have a blueprint and you can talk and edit it further. It's like an editing tool, all right? Like, you can edit it. Editing exists. When you send a message on a lot of platforms, some of them you can't edit the message for some reason. Like Messenger, I don't think you can, which is stupid. But like a lot of messaging platforms, you just like say something, you can go back and edit it. It's like, oh, I accidentally made a typo. Literally. So that is, those are my opinions. Those are my opinions. And one more thing about the future talks thing. Like another example, people might be like, it's too weird, it's too awkward. And there is a chance that you may scare away someone, but let them know that you want to save yourself some heartbreak if things don't actually look like you're going the right direction. Heartbreak is tough to deal with. And I've also dealt with that too. So I know what that feels like. Only partially, because it wasn't from a deep relationship. But that doesn't need to be mentioned. That's completely insignificant. But I'm telling you, I know partially, like a big chunk of how it feels, or at least a good portion of how something like that feels. Something someone told me, I saw in the video. No, yeah, I saw it in the video. I was watching, well, actually, I'm not going to mention him anymore because he curses, so I'm not going to mention him a lot, but yeah. The YouTuber that I mentioned a couple videos ago, he was like, the depth of how deep you love someone, how deep you choose to love someone, is the depth of the wound you'll feel if they break up with you and that connection stops. Think of it like this. You are this, I'm going to give another visual representation here. You are, let's do blueprints again. Okay, so you are this stack of blueprints. I really should be using the frost. I wasted the big piece. Oh no. Oh my goodness. I find these things too funny sometimes. I have too much fun, I swear. Okay. So this is you, right? This is you without a relationship. You're full. You don't need anything. You can stand strong, and you're never going to feel any pain as long as you keep yourself like this. When you get into a relationship, let me show you an example. Some people, they like to go this deep. Like, they emotionally rely themselves on their partner's existence. When you're in a deep relationship, a true relationship, you get invested in your partner, you get attached to them, you fall in love. So part of you starts, like, your structure of being happy starts to disappear, the independent portion, and your partner has to be there and continue to love you and be in the relationship to make sure it stands stable. Now, I want to show you how deep I love. Side note, one thing that a lot of Republicans insulted Kamala Harris for last year was her laugh. I love her laugh. She is like one of the best laughs I've ever heard. Like, come on now. That is a great laugh. I find myself laughing like her. I'm not giving any political side, but I'm saying, like, for their exact point of insulting her on that specific part. Like, come on, it's fun to laugh. She's a big laugher. That's what she says. Forget that's a different color, but this is how deep I love. I'm not exaggerating at all. Like, this is literally how deep. This is how reliant I am on Aya right now. This is how deep I love her. This is how deep I'm emotionally relying on her. And this is how deep she loves me back the same. She's insane too. If you think I'm insane with how obsessed I am with her, you should see her. She's insane too. Different people have different loving styles. And I haven't really thought about it much. You know, I'm not some professional researcher, okay? But like, I'm partially sure that some people may have the ability to love deep, but not emotionally put themselves in that deep. Or maybe if they don't put themselves emotionally that deep, they don't love as much. Not sure. But all I know is that I love so deeply. I make myself also, like, I emotionally invest myself so deeply. Now, what happens if a breakup were to happen? Oh, geez, here we go. Oh, I am absolutely destroyed now. Look how big my wound is. Look how big my wound is. And that literally takes so long to heal if me and Aya were to ever to break up. Oh my goodness. It would probably take me like a solid, maybe like the rest, just say the rest of the year I'm going to be completely destroyed maybe at that point. Oh my goodness. And then slowly over time, when you heal from the breakup, you get yourself back up to not emotionally relying on that person, and then you can stand alone nice and strong. But it takes time. Some people, like, the less they are, the less they gotta bounce back from it. I get myself emotionally invested, and the way I am is that I just can't have it any other way. That is how I love. I love deep. Well, that is how emotionally vulnerable I am. I'm extremely vulnerable. Now, you can kind of tell that, well, the breakup that I had in early 2023, despite that relationship hardly lasting any amount of time, and it wasn't even really considered a real or legit deep relationship, I was so deeply hurt. Even though the relationship was for such a short amount of time, it wasn't even considered a real relationship. So, imagine how deep I would be affected if Aya left me. Yeah. Now, what is better, standing alone or being emotionally invested? My opinion, being emotionally invested. Even if it makes or breaks you. But that is the style I love, though. That is how I love, and I want to love. That is the way I love. This place is looking a lot cleaner. I love it. I love it. But just being so emotionally in debt with someone is what I'll call it. I'm in so much emotional debt with Aya. It just feels so nice. Extremely nice. I love it. I love that feeling. Because it's just filled with just so much just dependence. It feels very nice being that dependent. And I personally believe that once you find someone that you can trust, you should try getting that deep too. That emotionally deep. It feels nice. Now, I don't know if some people can love that deep but aren't as emotionally, won't get as emotionally hurt. Aya's first language isn't even English, so if she watches this video, she's going to be so freaking confused right now for what I'm saying, because I'm kind of... But I hope I explained it enough. That is it for this video. This is basically the world of love. There are probably many, many more life lessons that I have not taught. I'm teaching you what I learned from Aya, and thank you, Aya, for existing and being in my life. For, well, obviously, absolutely, a lot more for being my partner, but absolutely a lot more for that. But a tiny percentage of my gratitude for you being my partner is also because I get to make this video. Probably a 99% to 1%, because relationships, oh my goodness, there's like, she's going to be here forever, like, with me. Like, for the rest of my life, like, a forever partner. I may just completely stop making videos entirely. Like, I know I technically quit, but I may just stop making videos long before I die. And Aya's with me till I die or she dies. In a typical life. But you understand what I'm saying. You guys get what I'm saying. That is it for this video. I know this was an extremely long video. I will take important parts and put them into shorts so that for those people who don't want to watch everything, they can bump into one of my shorts. They're scrolling on YouTube Shorts. They can end up finding it. I'll also post them separately and on separate days, and I'll ping about it. So then, people watch a quick short, get a good tip. I'm not back, by the way. I hope you all know that. I'm never going to be back. My next video probably won't be for a little bit of time, but happy 6-year anniversary, and I do apologize for not doing anything for the 6-year anniversary. I did tell someone in DMs that I would, and I'm so sorry, but I just didn't. I'm sorry. I can't say anything else. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm sorry. And also an update on the polls. I like how I'm talking about this all at the end of the video, but I mean, like, I don't want to bore the viewers that would stop watching once I start talking about this in the beginning of the video. But with the poll stating that I officially quit posting Roblox videos as of today, should I move another game onto this channel and try to turn this channel to revolve around that new game, or should I let this channel rest as is to honor its Roblox legacy? I also told you guys that it would be a bias poll, and there's a Roblox one, or no, not Roblox, YouTube and a Discord one, both separately, and they both would have to get at least 3 extra votes than the one in second place for it to ultimately win. But I could definitely tell you, I'm pretty sure out of the 34 votes, 15 people voted to please leave this channel alone. 18 people, so that is enough of a majority, voted to move Minecraft on this channel. All right, I see what you guys are saying. And 1 person wanted to put Risk on this channel, but we ain't doing that. We'd all know what's not winning. As for the Discord poll, same question, of course. And the people in that poll actually have the option to vote for multiple choices, but that doesn't matter though, because the results are still this: 14 people voted for no, please leave this channel alone, 10 for move Minecraft on the channel, 7 for move Risk, and 8 for move Reaction onto this channel. So there's a bunch of people who actually voted for multiple things, but I mean, there is literally a 4-vote lead in no, please leave this channel alone. So even if there was no bias involved, the ultimate winner is obviously going to be keep this channel alone. And that is just what I want to do. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to keep Roblox on this YouTube channel. I mean, I literally always had the mindset that I'm keeping Roblox on this channel because, people overwhelmingly in the Discord voted that the entire time. So, and I always want to do that. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to stick to. If we do get more votes for Minecraft on Discord, there is a possibility I may change my mind, but it'll be harder to, since everything as of now is set in stone. that is the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy me coming back for this video, giving you guys a life lesson, giving you guys a base item moving video. I'm happy to be back here doing this video. I hope you all are doing good. I hope you all are doing good in your life. And please, please take the advice that I gave you in this video. If you don't want to, that's okay, but consider taking it. And always question me too. If you think what I'm saying is incorrect, call me out, give me constructive criticism. I can respond to it. I'm open to constructive criticism. I'm a human being, not a popular person. What do I mean by that? Well, I say popular person in parentheses. Well, technically I'm not really popular, but like, okay, consider me like a tiny bit extra popular in the LT2 community. What I'm trying to say by this statement is I'm not someone who is going to treat myself like I'm this person on this pedestal.